Welcome to the Gold Crown Basketball Score Sheet training. By the end of this video, you will be able to accurately maintain a basketball score sheet. Please pay close attention as we go through each step. First, you're going to want to familiarize yourself with the score sheet. So we have a sample version here for you today. We've kind of pre-filled out some of the information similar to what it's going to be like at game time. So oftentimes when you show up to the scores table, the coaches will have grabbed this score sheet and they will have filled out their player roster or player jersey numbers on this sheet. Obviously, we just picked the Nuggets and the Lakers. It's always good before the game starts to indicate what color each of the teams are, because oftentimes the referees, when they report something to the scores table, they will just refer to the team as blue or white. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that all the information at the top of the sheet is filled out accurately. So for example, today's date, I'm just going to use today's date, which is May 6th, 2020. The time, we'll say 2 p.m. And the court, we'll just say Gold Crown Fieldhouse, Court 3. So that information up at the top is important for our staff, because when we come around and collect these sheets at the end of the games, that information is very critical to how we go about recording the scores. Date, time, court number. You're also going to want to make sure that team 1 here is filled out with whatever team it is. We ask that you, if the game is between Mountain Vista and Thunder Ridge, we ask that you write out Mountain Vista and Thunder Ridge, as opposed to the mascots or maybe colors or something like that, nicknames. It doesn't indicate it on here, but on the score board up on the wall in the gym, it does talk about, obviously there's a home and guest or home and away. The best way to indicate that is the team wearing white or a lighter colored jersey is usually always considered the home team. The team in the dark jerseys is always usually considered the away team or the guest. Oftentimes the referees and the coaches and the score tables, it's kind of up to you to determine who that is. But just so you know, white team is typically the home and the darker jersey is typically the away. You'll also notice that personal fouls column here. Each player is given 5 personal fouls. There's also T1 and T2, those are technical fouls. Players are allowed 2 technical fouls before they're ejected from the game, so that part's included there. This part here is for running score, personal scores for each of the players. That is not a requirement for us, but we do put it on here in case somebody, whomever's keeping the score, wants to tally up each player's individual scores. Also over here on this far column, this is technically for the player names. For our information, that's not necessarily important. Again, some of the coaches may fill this information out, but the required field is the number column. We do need to make sure that the rosters are completed with the jersey numbers. From there, over here on this side, you will see this is a running score of the game. This is also a requirement. There's team fouls, which is also a requirement. You're going to want to make sure that you go through this, which we will here in a minute. And then team foul, or timeouts, timeouts per quarter or per half, depending on which event. But for this one, it's per quarter. At the end, we ask that you write out the final score right here in this general area. That's where we ask you to write the final score, and that's kind of it. Again, we're going to go through each one of these things item by item, but what I just went over there is the important information. As we fill out the score sheet, we're going to kind of pretend that the game has started. You know, the opening tip happened, and let's say that the Nuggets got the ball to begin the game. So that means that the next jump ball, or the next, if there is no jump ball in the first half, the possession arrow is awarded to the Lakers, which they are team 2. So you're going to want to make sure that up here at the top, that team number 2, i.e. the Lakers, is if there's a jump ball and the referee looks at you at the score table and is wondering who has the possession, you're going to want to make sure that you know Team 2, the Lakers, is the one who gets the ball at the next jump ball or at the end of the half. Okay, so let's say the game's going on and the first foul is called. The referee blows the whistle, obviously, and comes over to the scores table or maybe to half court and tells you, hollers at you, which team and which player was fouled. So oftentimes the official will holler blue 24 with the push. So under that situation, you're going to want to obviously find out the blue team or the Nuggets under this situation, player number 24, and they got their first personal foul. So you draw a line through it like that. And they also had their first team foul. So you're going to want to go like that. Team fouls will reset after each half. Individual fouls will not reset and will be a running total throughout the game. So again, each player is allotted 5 personal fouls. You can see the 5 over here. If player number 24 gets all the way to 5 personal fouls, it is your responsibility to let the officials know that they have fouled out of the game. So oftentimes you ask the person keeping the scoreboard to buzz the horn, and once they buzz the horn, the official should look over at the scores table and you just kind of indicate, hey, that number 24 has 5 fouls. You're also going to want to pay attention over here to the bonus and double bonus. Each team is allowed 7 team fouls. Once they get to the 7th team foul, the opposing team is in the bonus. So that essentially means if the Nuggets record 7 personal fouls in the first half, then the Lakers will receive a 1-on-1 free throw opportunity. If the Nuggets get to 10 personal fouls, then the Lakers will be in the double bonus and they get to shoot 2 free throws automatically, not the 1-on-1. It's 2 automatic free throws. So let's say the Nuggets fouled the Lakers went to the free throw line, and let's say that player made only 1 shot. So you're going to mark off the 1 on the running score here, right? So let's say the game goes along, the Nuggets go down, they score a 3-pointer, you mark off the 3. Lakers come down, they score a 2-pointer, you mark off, 1 plus 2 is obviously 3, so on and so forth. So you're just going to kind of keep going on this running score as the game progresses. So let's just kind of simulate that we're going through the game. Let's say during the first quarter, the Nuggets call a timeout. I kind of messed up here, but you can just indicate it with an X, just like that. Just so you know, for this particular league, each team is allowed 2 timeouts per half. So you want to make sure you keep track of them. Sometimes, the Lakers may call 2 timeouts in the second quarter. You're going to want to indicate it like that, right? So it's your job to keep track of the timeouts. Sometimes throughout the game, the coach or the referee will ask you, hey, how many timeouts do the Nuggets have? And right now, as the game stands, in the first half, the Nuggets have 1 timeout remaining, whereas the Lakers have 0. So you're going to want to obviously communicate that. You'll let the coaches know and the referees know. Finally, as we work our way through the game, like I said, you're gonna keep track of the running score over here. It's going to kind of look something like this, and you're going to keep going and going. And we'll say the game ends or concludes at this point in time, right? When the game concludes, clearly write and circle the final score in the corresponding team's final score box. So over here, this is the final score. You can see there's 1 spot for each of the teams. So over here, we're going to say the Nuggets had 15. It's a low-scoring game. And the Lakers had, what did I say? Oh, up here, 20. So they have 20. And you circle both of them, okay? Under this scenario, this is complete. Obviously, you're going to have more personal fouls. The game's going to progress a lot further than what I have here for you, but this right here is exactly what we're looking for. I'll review one more time. We have final score circled over here so our staff can clearly understand who won the game. You have the correct team name up here. The 2 teams are listed right here. Again, we prefer not to have mascots. We prefer to have Mountain Vista versus Thunder Ridge or actual high school team names. And then we're also going to want to make sure the running score is here so that way you can kind of verify, and we also can too. If somebody comes and challenges the score after the game, we can go back and say, look, here's the score sheet. It looks like it was clearly 20-15 in favor of the Lakers. And then lastly, you're going to want to make sure this top portion is filled out with date, time, and court.